Now people are living in fear instead of having faith.
And I also have one question. So, for example, right now, a lot of people are losing their jobs, or so some companies or some restaurants are closed, and people are scared, people are panicking, people have anxiety. So, how do you guys personally help yourself with dealing with anxiety or negative thinking as our main topic of the day? So how do you guys play with this on a daily basis, especially right now?
That's another good question, because that's, like, again, critical to this world and what's going on. When you can get to the point where you, just like my wife just said, when you get to the point where you can be comfortable with being alone, comfortable with being by yourself, and in breathing, a lot of people have a shallow breaths, and that's where anxiety comes from. Just like that, a lot of people have shallow breaths, and they only breathe shallowly every day. They never have full breaths. And just go with this is a perfect example. When you go to the hospital, and the nurse puts the telescope in their ear, and they put it on your back and say, take 3 deep breaths. They're doing that for a reason. They're doing that to see, okay, what do I need to do? What is the next step that I need to do? Because I really want to know if this person is breathing. It's the same way as right now what's going on. People are
Yeah.
breathing shallowly, and they're not really having full breaths. And now their anxiety has kicked in so much because they're not used to breathing. They're used to always on the go. They're used to moving around. Now they have to be still. They have to sit down. They have to enjoy this place. And it's uncomfortable to them. And when it's uncomfortable, you don't know what else to do because you've never done that before. When you get
Yeah.
to the point where you can say, look here, this is what it is. I can control what I can control. I'm not going to try to worry about what I cannot control, because when I do that, I'm not in control. But when I allow things to happen, allow things to come in, I'm in control. And be present in that moment, whatever that moment looks like. Don't worry about the future nor the past, because the past doesn't exist. It's no longer there. The only reason why the past exists now, because you bring it into the present moment. And what's going on is people are living in fear. And when you're in fear, it's difficult for you to stay in the present moment, because you escape the present moment, and then you go to your head. You start creating stories and telling yourself these stories. And now you have developed a limited belief around all these different things. Then you started creating these stories to things that haven't even happened yet. Maybe you start creating stories. I would never be able to go back to work. I'd never be able to make the money that I was making before. I would never be able to do that. Now you're speaking negatively to yourself, and you're having this low vibration and negative energy that is surrounding you and preventing you from move forward, grow, and expand in life. And that's what's going on, because now people are living in fear instead of having faith. Fear and faith, they both have the same energy. They have the same drive, the same focus. Zig Ziglar says fear is false evidence appearing real, and faith is finding answers in your heart. When you can do that, that's when your life will be what you want your life to be.
And I think Eckhart Tolle says it best. People believe that it's the external, that is the external circumstances that causes them suffering, like the pain,
Yeah.
depression, or the anxiety, but it's really their resistance to it, right? So how many people are resisting the situation as it is right now? So a easy go-to, or an easy indicator of what is going on is to check in with yourself and see, am I resisting this current situation, or am I allowing it? If you're allowing it, you're not going to be stressed out. You're not going to be depressed. You're not going to be anxious, right? But it's that very resistance, and where we're putting our thoughts, right? And you may have much been programmed by your parents, because they always freaked out in situations like these. But this is a great time to look at it. And it's going to be more painful. You might even get more anxious or more depressed. And that's why it's so important to get some help, get some guidance, join seminars like these and live streams to really get to know yourself more, because we can't do it alone. We're getting help too. We're getting guidance. We have coaches too. But to really use this time to understand how you're functioning, because you might be able to, you feel like things are better when you're out and about and you're able to go to work and be around people, but you're really distracting yourself from what's really already going on, right? And eventually that's going to catch up with you, and some type of physical symptom or a trauma symptom is going to catch up with you, and then it's going to be way more. Now you're going to be having to be way more sheltered and more isolated than you ever were before. So start paying attention to your thoughts and where you're putting your energy, because if you're worried about that you're going to lose your job, that's the energy you put out, that's what you're going to attract, right? So really be conscious about your thoughts, starting early in the morning to pay attention to yourself. Do the breathing like my husband said. Spend some time meditating, do some yoga, spend time in silence and see what are the thoughts that are coming up, what are the emotions that are coming up, and when this is coming, am I resisting that as well as I am resisting this current reality, or am I allowing myself to feel? And like I said, it's going to be painful.
Absolutely.
But it has to be done.
Yeah, it has to be done. That's right. I just love everything that you guys said, man, because it's so critical. Even I remember I was talking on the phone with my mom, right? And she was freaked out just like everybody else. And she was kind of, I don't know if I'm gonna say worried or a little mad that I wasn't freaked out.
Yeah, that's cool.
I told her that it's not that she felt like I wasn't taking it seriously or whatever. I'm like, it's not that I don't take it seriously, but it's exactly what you guys said. It's a serious situation, whatever it is. Okay, that's true. But what can I do about it? I don't have control over it, right? The doctors don't even know what the fuck is going on. So what can I do, right? The only thing I can do is stay focused and try to control my thoughts, try to control my feelings, try to control my actions so that I can at least stay healthy, right?
Right.
Because we all think that exactly like you said, it's the exterior world, but it's actually from whatever you feel first, because from all these negative thinking, all these negative feelings, then you start getting all these fear, and then anxiety comes in. And then exactly like Ivana was saying, from anxiety, then it goes into depression, and then you get all these type of diseases. That's when you're gonna start looking from Xanax and these pills. But it's not even the pills. It's right from the thoughts, it's right from the feelings, right? And then if you don't, I've been practicing, just like you guys are saying, right? I've been practicing, so that's why right now I'm a little more comfortable than my mom, who hasn't been practicing at all, right? So that's why whoever is on this call, I know some of you do some kind of work already, but if you don't, just like they were saying, this is the time to really sit down, especially for most people, most students, you really don't have anything else to do. So this is the time to really sit down, like those books that you bought, all those programs that you bought that you never read. This is the time to sit down, figure it out, and whatever makes you happy, whatever you really love to do, make a list. Start with one. Like, I also learned that, I get excited when I start geeking out, and I start trying to do all these things at the same time. But just pick one and just get started. If you've always wanted to learn how to meditate, YouTube, man, how to meditate. And whatever it's easy for you, just get started. If it's reading a book, if it's watching a video, whatever it is, just exploring.